Where the fuck is the rest of my pencil? Is it under this cat? Oh, it's under this cat. Hello, and welcome to yet another... What are we called? A Star to Steer Her By. That's the one.
How many episodes have we gone, Ames, that you don't remember the name of the podcast?
Who are you people? What are you doing in my Zoom account?
I'm James.
Thank you, James. No, we're doing the thing. We're on episode 180.
Woo! Yeah.
Woo. As usual, I am Ames.
As you've come to expect, I am Caitlin.
As you no doubt fear, I am Jake.
I am always in pain. This is Chris.
I'm James.
And James is here.
Hello, James.
James is logged in remotely. We're all logged in remotely. It's fucking Zoom theater o'clock. And we're here doing the Stardust Here by thing, finishing up season 3 of Deep Space Nine.
God damn.
Hot dog, yeah. So we're just going to do one episode because when we realize when we do multiple episodes and a season wrap, it takes 15 hours to fucking record.
Well, also we ran out of season.
Well, we got fucked over by that cheeky two-parter.
That sneaky two-parter. God damn it.
Dirty.
That threw off all your delicate calculations.
Yeah, well, plus we know next week is also a two-parter.
Yep.
Less sneaky, a very
Much
obvious
less sneaky.
two-parter.
Yep.
Yeah, so doing all of that, plus our season wrap, plus having James Rossi on doing the thing, would have been way too many things. So we're only covering the Adversary right now. What is the Adversary, you say? Well, it's the season finale of season 3. Hot diggity dog. We meet up with Captain Sisko. You notice how I say Captain now? Because he just got his last pip on his uniform thing. They're in fancy
Pip,
uniforms.
hooray!
Everyone's super happy. It's going to be a great day for everyone. And end of episode. The end.
Woo! What a party.
Ambassador Krajensky shows up and tells Sisko that, oh no, the Senkethi, this alien race who's been hostile to us in the past, is going through this coup thing. Their autarch, which is their ruler, just got ousted or killed or both. And now there's probably going to be all this unrest, and they might take it out on the Federation because they're known to do that. We should go check things out, and cooler heads will prevail. So they realize, okay, we'll go out there and do that. So they start flying out there. They're doing the thing. O'Brien is hanging out in some tubes to find a place to masturbate or something. And he notices all this weird shit's going on, where all these random conduits keep appearing that look like they're probably sabotage. He runs into Julian down there, also looking for a place to masturbate. And he's like, Julian, what are you doing down here? Oh, nothing. Just the usual Julian stuff.
Just, masturbating.
Yep.
So after they suck each other off, what happens?
Yeah, they realize, oh no, something is going wrong on the Defiant. And O'Brien realizes, Julian was down there and probably shouldn't have been. Maybe something's going wrong. Maybe Julian is secretly a traitor that we didn't think of before. Let's figure this out. So they realize, okay, all these force fields that are up doing the thing, and if you encounter one of these sabotaged what's-its, you leave a trace of some kind of thing that Jadzia can scan you for, and we can figure out who the traitor is this way.
Well, it's specifically because they were in a part of the engine room, and it's Tetrion particles. Okay.
So they were checking for gunpowder, because if you fire a gun...
They can scan every person and figure out who was the one doing the thing. So when they go to scan Ambassador Krajensky, who's still here, they're like, oh no, it was you. And he's like, yep, I'm a changeling. So he changelings himself into some goo and goos away.
Goes away.
So they say, oh no! Now the big bad thing is there's a changeling loose on the ship. It could literally be anything or anyone. So we can no longer trust each other. We can no longer trust paintings or tripwires that are laying around.
Rats.
We can no longer trust walls and rats. It could be anyone. Everyone pair up. We're gonna shoot literally everything on the ship to figure out what the changeling is. And everyone pairing off ends up going awry immediately because they all get separated from their partners. Sisko's partner gets fucking killed. Kira and her Bolian partner get separated. Odo and Eddington get separated. So it could literally be anybody except Sisko because they realize, oh, Sisko is bleeding. And changelings don't bleed because anything that drips off of them would turn back into goo. So we know it's not Sisko, and now we realize, if we just check everybody's blood, we can figure out which one of us is the changeling. So we go do that, and they realize, it's been Eddington. Damn it, Eddington, you goddamn idiot. Until they meet up with a second Julian. And now there's 2 Julians in the room. That's normal. It's still Eddington, obviously. Yeah, so
Can't believe Eddington's done this.
Changeling Julian.
You made 2. You made another Bashir, you fool.
Yeah, so Changeling Julian, whisks himself away, goos away, as he does. And again, the Changeling is loose somewhere on the ship. So they really haven't made a whole lot of progress. Meanwhile, O'Brien is trying to fix engineering all by himself because Jadzia's been knocked out.
With an overdose of some kind of sedative, right?
Yikes. Yeah, so O'Brien is very, very busy, and they realize, okay, if we can't get this figured out ASAP, the ship is still heading toward the Zinkethi, and if we just show up there, they're probably going to be pissed. And I'm not sure what the hell was going on there. We'll talk about that. But we should just self-destruct the ship if things go too wrong, because having a changeling on board hiding out is really, really bad. Finally, in engineering, O'Brien is just nearly finishing up doing the thing, when all of a sudden, 2 Odos pop up. And they're like, hey, I'm Odo. Hey, I'm Odo. No, you're not. No, you're not. It's like the fucking Kirk thing all over again. And
they do that mirror trick where one moves their right hand and the other does their left. It's like every classic Looney Tune ever.
Yeah, so finally one of the Odos attacks O'Brien, and they're like, that one's definitely Odo. He's always attacking O'Brien.
Famously, always.
So actual Odo grabs fake-ass Odo, throws him up against the warp core, fucking kills the guy. So now we can no longer say a changeling has never harmed another changeling. Although this guy was really, really asking for it.
Yeah.
And in his dying words, he says to actual Odo, "It's too late. We're everywhere." And this is where we end season 3. Which
that's
is
how you end the
season.
season.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This was such a stupid thing. Because we see him whisper to Odo, and then 8 seconds later, Odo tells us what he said. I was kind of like, I don't
just
really
let him say it.
That's what I mean. It just felt like there was no payoff. I was like, ooh, are we ever going to know what was said? Oh, yeah, 8 seconds later. Okay.
It gives them the opportunity that maybe he said more than that. And that's about all it does.
Bullshit. He moved his face next to him for half a second, and then he turned into ashes. I saw it. There's no way.
So everyone agrees that this Odo is now the fake-ass changeling now, right?
No.
I'm sorry, what?
That would have been amazing.
No. I don't like it.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of backstory for this episode that I was reading up about. Because originally they wanted this to be a 2-parter to end the season on a cliffhanger, which normally they do all the time and is fine. But for some reason, the station, the producers and shit were like, nope, we don't want to do that for this season. For some reason, they never say.
Well, they say their last couple seasons haven't been cliffhangers.
The Jem'Hadar was kind of a cliffhanger.
Kind of, but it was still sort of like, it wasn't as directly like that specific plot was wrapped up, and they did pick up the thread the very next thing, but like the actual plot of that episode at least was like they're really playing with the serialized format now, where it's like the season ender seeds ideas, but it's not a cliffhanger in the way like a lot of the TNG season finales
and I think that we'll see that the whispered statement is actually in that sense kind of a cliffhanger as well, because we definitely pick up that next season.
As I said, it's less cliffhangery and more very, very much embracing that they're doing more serialized television now.
Yeah.
But it meant that because they were expecting to do this 2-parter, that now suddenly they're like, oh fuck, we have to put
together.
We have to throw a 1-parter together really, really fast. So they kind of kept the main thread of there is a changeling saboteur hiding somewhere. Originally, it was going to be out on Earth. And they would have involved, like, Sisko's dad, and he would have been there. And it would have been this big thing on Earth, where Earth is suddenly getting, swarmed by changelings. Which I think having, like, a smaller step to suddenly being swarmed by changelings is probably a better way to go anyway.
Yeah.
But it also meant that they realized, okay, well, now that we're not doing it on Earth, we have to do it all on the Defiant. Fuck, we have to build the Defiant engineering set in a day.
Wow.
Well,
that looked good for a day.
Good.
Yeah.
It looked great.
And it really did, like, it was a good job of, like, you know, everything is kind of cramped.
Yeah, the various set designers complain a lot because normally on the soundstage they have sets that can also double as other things a lot, and we see that a lot.
Right.
But this engineering set can't double as anything else.
Yeah.
So they think it's a waste of space.
Looks good, though. So, if we've learned anything from TNG and DS9,
Which
it's
we
that the
Nope,
Federation, sometime between, like, basically the end of Star Trek VI and the start of TNG, was just constantly at war. Because
with the Zenkethi people?
suddenly there's the Zenkethi who we've never heard of before. There were the border wars with Jono's people. There were the Cardassian border wars. Like, how many wars were there right before TNG?
Lots.
So many.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's like wars. I wonder if like some of these are just like
more like storage wars. You feel like?
Yeah.
I mean, like
Conflict.
not like
Cupcake
full yeah,
wars,
conflict.
Cupcake wars, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty
like
sure the Federation could probably just annihilate most of the people they come across. They just don't, because they pretend they're the good guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just funny how many of these little things keep popping up. And people are like, oh yeah, the Federation, they're so peaceful. It's like, are they?
I mean, there were those like monster people that Picard had to talk with that one time.
The Irish? What the fuck are you saying?
Oh,
Who
you
are
mean
those-
with his stupid Balaki thing there?
From the Big
What
Goodbye?
did the Irish ever do to you? What the fuck?
No, the one where they had to like dig up some treaty that was like and they had to find like the
that
tiny
one.
loophole.
Yes. I forgot about them. That's another one.
I do not remember what you guys
They were going to
talking
get blown
about.
up, and then Picard was like, "Well, I demand
An arbitrator and-
an impartial arbitrator that will take 6 weeks to get here."
Well, no, it wasn't even that. It was an arbitrator from a species that was like currently in mass hibernation, no less.
Mm.
Yes, I
That's
forgot about that.
Yeah, they were like I want to say like the Shogoth Syndicate, but that's a Lovecraftian thing.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
But yeah, no, mine was,
corporate.
I think... What?
It might have been like something corporate or something.
Yeah,
Something
that
like
sounds
that.
right, actually. That's something... And yeah, Ames, I think, was the big goodbye where he had to, like, get out of the holodeck to give that stupid greeting.
Mm.
But that's neither here nor there. Got a bigger war a brewing, apparently.
Oh yeah, huge. I mean, how are there changelings everywhere? How long have they been coming into the Alpha Quadrant and getting all up in everyone's grill?
I mean, presumably since they found out about the wormhole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Deep
And they're
Space
pretty
Nine
quick
is right.
workers then.
Yeah, Deep Space Nine is right by the wormhole. How have they not seen, or just have they been?
I'm sure they just get on board another ship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
the
that's
Ferengi have been doing a lot of trading over there.
That's true. Fucking
Yeah,
Zek,
there's ships going through the wormhole all the time. All you have to do is either masquerade as a piece of equipment or
Yeah.
replace a person on one of those ships,
Yep,
and
yep.
you're in.
I'm
Be
literally
a-
going to be a sticker.
Be part of the wall like Odo was that time.
One of the extra reclamators.
Yeah.
Be a bag.
Why are there so many rats on this ship? No reason.
It's
Changelings,
good
we can
luck.
change into two things. People and rats.
I do like that apparently humanity managed to bring rats into space, and they have now become such an invasive species that no one bats an eye at them.
And Cardassian voles.
Yes, true.
Mm.
Aren't
Yeah,
the
we're
voles,
gonna
like,
bring
huge,
we're gonna bring
though?
pests wherever we go.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yes, no one checks the ships that we're actually bringing places.
I mean, that one
Yeah, so
astronaut...
that's going to be a new thing where, like, what they should probably do at the wormhole is any ship that comes through the entire crew needs to be blood tested.
For rats?
For changelings. And then they have to do, like, a baryon sweep or
Yeah, I was going to
something.
say like
Yeah.
a baryon sweep.
Yeah. I mean, really, there should be some pretty intense quarantine controls, considering they just managed to get a wormhole to another part of the galaxy. Who knows what they've got going on over there? And
I mean, this is
Yeah.
why I say every
cross-contamination
week.
would be real bad.
Every week I say we should have fucking blown up the wormhole. Is it actually that useful when it's also this fucking much of a threat? No.
It would be a genocide.
Well, because of the wormhole aliens?
Yeah.
We don't know if they can survive.
They probably wouldn't.
How about we go in and ask them?
See, I always just
They
assumed
don't
like you
speak
could collapse
properly.
the end of it without destroying the whole thing. But I guess that's not how wormholes work, probably.
Yeah, a hole does need two sides.
Well, but also, this isn't a traditional wormhole either, as we know, since it has the wormhole aliens in it. Like, it may not
I think they just call it the wormhole on the show, but I don't think it is like...
Yeah, no, it's...
I don't think it's like the same as the Barzan wormhole.
Yeah, no, it's something... It's its own weird thing.
So what is a traditional wormhole?
Where it's just like a hole in space.
And it's science, not weird aliens.
Okay.
Whereas
borderline magical.
This is like an actual alien habitat that just happens to have an entrance and an exit.
Yeah, and it happens to have wormhole-esque qualities.
Because they also say that, this is, there's never been a stable wormhole of this size discovered.
Yeah.
And that's also why the Barzan wormhole they were so interested in that, because they thought it was a stable wormhole until they found out that it kind of just moves around.
Was that the one in the Price?
That was the one in the Price, where the Ferengi got trapped in the Delta Quadrant.
Never to be seen again.
Well.
But, yeah, a lot of paranoia in this episode, understandably.
Yeah, that was the theme. It was great. Like a monster that can be anyone and anything. That's a great idea.
Well, and the fact that, like, the Defiant in its, is already such a cramped ship that really just adds to the whole, like, pressure of it all. Like, you don't even have to necessarily... I mean, they do, but you don't even have to just go into the Jeffries tubes to feel claustrophobic. That fucking turbo lift, which, as far as I can tell, only goes side to side, is like a closet. It was barely big enough for Cisco and Dax.
Yeah.
Like, so that just...
The size of the Defiant's a little weird, because apparently there was, like, 47 crew members?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people. And then when they showed, like, when they were trying to clear the ship and, like, they were using their phasers to, like, test everything. They basically were just literally shooting huge chunks of the ship. They went into the Jeffries tube, and that thing was gigantic.
Yeah,
it was an incredibly long Jeffries tube.
It's a very flat but very long ship, is the impression I'm under.
Yeah, it's just weird. It felt like the ship should not be as cramped as it is with a lot of the other information that they give.
Mm.
Yeah, the Jeffries tube, I agree, definitely seems out of place. But 47 crew I could buy. I mean, I imagine the Defiant is probably no smaller than, like a typical submarine.
Yeah.
And I feel like those have crews in the hundreds, right?
Yeah, but I feel like those are the same size, if not smaller, than what the Defiant looked like.
Yeah, submarines are notoriously cramped, too.
I know, but so is the Defiant. And we've seen the quarters, they're all double bunks. So... I don't know. I could buy 50 people being on that crew. But yeah, the long Jeffries tube was a little weird.
It was very long. I was like, 47 people would, like, they should all have their own rooms.
Yeah, it was the room where Kira and the Bolian were gonna both go crawl, and they say, after you! No, after you. What, don't you trust me? Fuck no! And they were gonna go crawl in there.
The thing that irritated me most, though, about that fucking Jeffries tube when she shot down it, was how fucking precise her aim was to not, like, to shoot down a very narrow tube that appeared to be hundreds of yards long and not hit the walls.
Hey, listen, she used to shoot womp rats at, whatever the fuck they say in Star Wars.
It is the aim is slightly computer assisted, so, like, no matter how she aims, the nozzle actually slightly tilts.
Oh, she's aimbotting? God damn it!
Fucking hackers.
And she wasn't the only one that made that
using
shot.
Wall hacks.
Yeah, no, aimbot's just standard issue in a Starfleet phaser rifle.
So I have to admit, I'm not too hot on this episode.
No, why not?
No, I thought it was a very, very weak episode in general, let alone for a season finale. And the entire episode is just the thing, but not done as well.
I haven't seen The Thing.
It's
neither
real
have I.
good.
It's the same idea.
Of all the stupid shit,
Antarctic base.
Of all the stupid shit I watch for this podcast, I have not watched The Thing.
I mean, if you're down with, like, some pretty intense gore and body horror, then go for it.
Dude, after watching Event Horizon, I can probably watch anything.
Yeah, no, The Thing is a great movie.
It is. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, which kind of colors my perception of this one. Because I hold The Thing in such high regard, it's sort of like every step that this episode did either followed in the footsteps of The Thing or wasn't doing a great job at something The Thing did.
You know, it would be someone should do a prequel to The Thing, except it's the true story of the Scott expedition.
That's great. I love it.
It's just an alien.
Someone, I think, technically did something not entirely unlike that not too long ago. It was not the Scott expedition, but it was some, like, old-timey Arctic expedition, and it ended up getting wiped out by aliens or monsters or something, and not British gumption.
I feel like that should be a play, and it should be done.
I do that.
I forget what it was called. It was a mini-series.
You should write it, Ames.
Was it The Terror?
Maybe?
Might have been The Terror. But yeah, no, so like, yeah, and so I did look up on Memory Alpha because I was surprised at how much this episode correlates with stuff in The Thing. And apparently they claim that it wasn't an inspiration.
Really?
They claim that they were watching a different movie, so there's an original story and it's called Who Goes There? And it's about an Antarctic base where a shape-shifting psychic alien essentially starts replacing people. And it goes through that. It's a really good short story, too. And then there was like a 60s or 50s sci-fi film, which is very loosely based off of it, which involves like a plant alien on an Arctic base. And everyone's really like paranoid, but like there's no shape-shifting involved. It's just some alien invader. It's essentially a monster movie, but set in the Arctic. And then in the 80s, The Thing came out. And it follows the story much more closely, except it also adds in a ton of really amazing practical, like, gore effects.
And it was technically a remake of The Thing from Another World, right?
Yeah, I think that's the name of the first
the first monster one.
Right. That's not. Yeah, and I mean, it's not really a remake. The Thing is just based on Who Goes There. They're just based on the same property.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. And apparently they didn't watch the one that included shape-shifting aliens. They watched the one that included just the general monster. And then somehow also made, I don't know, I don't really believe them when they claim they didn't base this on The Thing.
Yeah, I mean,
it does sort of sound like they're fucking liars.
Yeah.
I've never seen The Thing, but I know enough about the gist of it that when you said it feels like it's based off The Thing, I was like, yeah, no, definitely is. Definitely is, and if they say otherwise, yeah, talking out their asses.
Yeah, but yeah, so it just kind of feels like it was just the poor man's version of The Thing, and it included like weird stuff that like never seemed to get like resolved. Like at one point, Eddington says like, "Aren't you hot?" And Odo says, "Oh, I don't sweat." And it's like, oh, this is going to be a great setup for when there's two people and they need to determine who's the real one because one will be sweating and the other one won't. And that's how and then they don't do that.
I totally thought that was going to happen.
For no reason. They could have used it, but then they're just like, screw it, and just have two Odos show up.
That's been a theme. This came up a lot last week, too, that they set stuff up and then didn't deliver. So
yeah, they really fucked that up.
Guess they're just tired at the end of the season or something.
I was waiting for them to just be like, we're just going to turn off the thermostat, and whoever doesn't schwitz is the shapeshifter.
Well, too bad they didn't have Garrick's little machine.
Yeah, well, that thing was destroyed. We never hear of that again. Can a changeling make it look like they're sweating, though?
Probably, but you could then wipe the sweat away, and when it stops touching them, it would turn back into goo.
Nobody wants to touch anybody sweaty. It's gross.
Yeah, no one would do it. They'd never figure it out.
They'd be like, nope.
I actually read, which is my new favorite thing, is that even though it was never like, they accused Eddington every fucking time we see Eddington of being a changeling. And it's, eventually we determine, oh no, it's been Julian this whole time. He probably faked Eddington's blood test. Fans out there fucking still went wild, assuming that Eddington was just a second changeling. And he's definitely a changeling. And when all the writers got wind of this, they were like, well, in this case, we are never going to make Eddington a changeling.
Well, Julian is so clearly palming Eddington's blood sample in that one shot that you have to be
super awkward close up of him kind of shuffling things around.
Yeah, and you can see he's got a second vial. But here's the thing, right? All right, continuity issue.
Yeah.
So they say that once the blood is separated from the changeling, it turns back into changeling goo. But when he holds up Eddington's vial, or quote unquote Eddington's vial,
it takes a second for it to change.
It takes a second, but if it was already fake Julian's goo in there, shouldn't have it shouldn't it have already been goo?
Was the vial part of fake Julian?
Oh, that's interesting.
Can they be glass? Maybe, I guess so.
But then the whole
anything.
vial would have changed.
They can be rats. They can
That's true.
They can be anything.
Here's the wild thing. When we determined in this episode that when a changeling is shaped as another thing, it is that thing. We kind of already knew this, but now it's determined. Like when Jadzia scanned the ambassador, he registered as human.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
see, that goes back to my whole thing about that Odo has to have eyes to see or ears to hear.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess it does, actually.
But that doesn't make sense because that doesn't jive with when he's a wall, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe he makes really tiny microscopic little wall ears that you just can't see.
The
wall is actually just made up of ears.
They are functionally ears, but they are visually a wall.
I want to see Odo masquerading as a painting, but he still makes the eyes
move.
Eyes
move.
There's something like that in a comic I was reading once. A character is they're a shapeshifter. Their natural form is a dragon. And when they try to turn into a human, they're not really good at it. So they just have these little sphere, like, cartoon hands. And someone is like, how are they picking stuff up? And when they, like, zoomed in, it turns out it wasn't a sphere. It was, like, a sphere covered in tiny hands.
Dislike. I don't like this.
So I imagine a wall just made up of tiny, like, you zoom in, it's like, oh, God, it's just ears.
Shapeshifter. So we do get Eddington back, though. And I'm actually surprised that they weren't more accusatory of him. Once they realized that there was a saboteur, like, I would immediately, if I was Sisko, I'd be like, all right, let's, as a precaution, lock up Eddington, put him in the brig for safekeeping.
Last time we had a
one person on the ship has previously sabotaged it before.
You mean before they even knew it was a changeling, you're saying?
Yeah, before they knew it was a changeling, they just knew it was a saboteur.
But see, the last time he saboteured, it was on orders from a higher up. This would be acting
that was like
against...
2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that
they
was
don't know.
Really recent.
I think they should just, anytime something goes wrong, they should lock up Eddington.
I'm on board.
My lunch is cold. Put Eddington in the brig.
And then call O'Brien, put that bitch to work.
Yeah, see, my first assumption when things started going wrong was, oh no, O'Brien brought Pup, and Pup got out.
Damn it,
No,
Pup.
not Pup.
Fucking Pup.
I was also surprised that, like, the ambassador wasn't met with some more suspicion, considering he was, the one that no one knew before this.
Mm. Well, Ben apparently knew him.
Yeah.
The way they were talking, they were old buddies.
That's true, I guess, they're old buddies.
And man,
that guy's apparently dead as fuck now.
Oh yeah.
The real one.
Ben's been a captain for 3 days, and he already knows every other captain by memory.
Yep, that's how it goes.
When they say to call up the Ulysses, he doesn't have to look. He's like, oh yes, call up Captain Fur.
Well, he's been spending a lot of time with the Facebook. It's fine.
No, what it is just after Wolf 359, there's like 30 ships in Starfleet. So.
Yeah,
it's true. Still haven't shored up those numbers.
But yeah, so this is the, so the Changelings have already basically taken out the Romulans and the Cardassians, or at least, taken out their big fleets.
Yeah.
Yeah, their big secret fleet.
But what's interesting, though, I was thinking about this, this is about the previous episode, but they only took out the secret fleets. There's still the regular Cardassian and Romulan fleets that are still just as powerful as they were.
Yeah.
So they really didn't accomplish too much. They basically orchestrated the construction of a fleet and then the destruction of that fleet. Great job, Changelings.
It's a distraction from what the real problem is because now there's going to be all this, political infighting and strife and all of these problems on both Cardassia and Romulus, and it just gives them more time, and like they are really good at using their time.
This is their version of tweeting.
But also, when you think about it, like, we know the Cardassians built a secret separate fleet. We don't know the Romulans did. The Tal Shiar might have just conscripted a bunch of their regular warships.
That's true. So but at any rate, this is basically the Changelings' efforts to take out the Federation, or at least get the Federation distracted enough that they won't be paying attention to what the Changelings are up to, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess that was the whole plan, basically, was to essentially have the Defiant go attack that alien race and then start a war with them.
Yeah.
And like, if you're going to do that, they should have done it with the Romulans or someone that, like, why did they introduce this unknown race?
Yeah. I mean, the Cardassians would have made sense.
The Cardassians or the Romulans or even, the Klingons, even though they're friends. But, like, if you were going to try to set up a war, like, wouldn't it have been way more interesting if the news was, hey, bad news, Gowron has been overthrown by, some relative of Duras, and
the anti-Federation
an anti-Federation.
Yeah, Duras' son is still floating around.
Yeah, we have to get over. We got to send the Defiant in there, make sure that this doesn't blow up, and then you have the Federation attack, or the Defiant.
And they could have sent Picard, and Picard could have been the Changeling.
There you go.
Here's my question then, though: if it's all these races with whom we're in contact, why don't we just call them up and ask how they're doing? Why do we have to race in the Defiant, assuming we're going to have to put down some kind of insurrection, when we could probably just be more in contact with them?
Well, I think the original...
This was Sisko's first day.
And he still trusts Krasinski. He assumes Krasinski has already done this, maybe.
Probably.
And what was Krasinski? What was his position?
An ambassador.
He was an ambassador.
To who? To the Zencathi?
I think them.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean... I also think the original plan wasn't actually to go into Zencathi space. It was to go to the border near some Federation colonies or something.
Oh, yeah. And then we get that transmission from that colony saying, oh, God, we're under attack. Help, help.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, it's kind of reminded me of Conundrum.
Conundrum? I was going to say Arena.
Because in that one, basically, they, in Conundrum... they're told that, okay, we're under orders to go destroy these people, but we can't call anybody. We can't check our orders. We just got to do it. And yeah, I get that they discovered that there were problems with the transmitter, and that's why they couldn't ask permission. But I feel like the answer in that situation is don't just go engage. It's, well, we got problems with our transmitter. We should probably just stop.
Well, I think that was the thing. That was as soon as they realized there was something wrong there, everything else stopped working.
So this plan was dumb from the get-go, because the Defiant was going to find out that there was an issue immediately.
Mm. Yeah.
Once, and then they discovered those little bendy straws everywhere. Everything was over.
That was a cool thing. I liked that.
I feel like that had to have been filmed in reverse, where like they were pulling them off or something.
They must have, yeah.
Yeah, I got that impression too.
Yeah, it looked cool.
Yeah, I know they were definitely a practical effect, because the Memory Alpha article, or my book article, or whatever, I read this, said, oh yeah, everyone thinks they were CGI, but they weren't. They were practicals, and we had them lit up a certain way to make them look really cool. And didn't they look cool?
But say, they didn't look shitty enough to be CGI.
Yeah, that didn't look CGI at all.
No, their CGI wasn't that good yet.
I like our Bolian friend.
Mm.
Yeah, Bolians are nice to see.
He was paranoid.
Yep.
Yeah, I kept thinking this would make for a great kind of a board game or like a computer game kind of a thing, like Mafia or 2-Minute Werewolf or whatever it's called. Yeah.
I mean, certainly better than the actual...
We should do that. We should make a variation of those games where somebody's a changeling.
Yeah, and it could change at any time.
Yeah, but definitely better than the Star Trek board games.
So it would be like part like House on Haunted Hill, whatever the fuck, you know the one I mean.
Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Yeah. It would sort of be like that, too, I would think. Or like Scotland Yard.
I don't know Scotland Yard. That sounds fun.
Scotland Yard's fun. One of the people is the thief, and you're a cop, and you're trying to catch them, and they move secretly, so it's like hard to... I don't know. I've only played once or twice, and it was a long while ago. But it's a good game.
Neat. So they have this standoff in engineering where O'Brien and...
Helper.
Brian are working on, trying to get the ship fixed, trying to take down the force fields that were preventing them from accessing the systems. And then 2 Odos show up.
One Odo says, oh, remember when we went kayaking last week and you had some steak?
Soup. I thought it was soup.
Soup?
Or
steak
stew.
soup?
It's stew, I think. But he didn't have a fork.
Yeah, who the fuck eats stew with a fork?
Depends on how stewy the stew is.
Yeah, some stews are better with a fork.
No, bullshit.
If it's a really stewy stew...
It's very...
Stews are at least part liquid, which means you need a spoon.
That's a soup.
No,
you can eat all of the chunks and then just drink the soup out of the bowl.
Yeah, if you were raised in a fucking
Well, the thing is, this changeling has been doing
talking about O'Brien here.
Oh, fair, yeah. Never mind.
This changeling,
No
We've seen up the
further
long
questions,
ladder.
Your Honor.
this changeling has been doing its homework because when it is Julian in the Jeffries tube, because we later find out that was the changeling, when he scared the shit out of O'Brien goes, "Ah, Julian!" And he was really, "Oh, you called me Julian," which means, the changeling knows a lot about their relationship. Like, it's probably been hanging out on Deep Space Nine, listening in on conversations and shit for months.
If not that one, then another, like maybe there's another change. Because we know
Yeah.
this changeling supposedly showed up already disguised as the ambassador.
My God, it is Eddington!
And-
Jesus Christ!
And it managed to trick Ben
Yeah.
into basically making Ben think that this is a lifelong friend of yours.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna guess that they are everywhere and that they're all sharing information
Oh,
so that
more
they
than certainly.
can,
Is it
Morn.
is it possible that somehow they're getting it from Odo? Because we know, and I don't remember if it's this episode or no, it was this episode, wasn't it, where they're on their way to Cisco's party and Odo says to Julian, like, "Oh yes, no, it was last episode, I think." Sorry, I'm confusing myself. There
What
was
is the thing?
there was an episode recently where Odo and Julian are walking down the hall together, and Odo makes some comment about, oh yeah, it was last week, about Jadzia and Lita hanging out together a lot. And
Okay.
Julian's like, "Do you just have like files on everybody?" And Odo's like, "No, of course not. But Julian, you had 2 something or other pastries this morning, and as a doctor, you should really know better or something."
Julian, you've got the squirts, and it's really weird.
Is it in some way like possible that because he's part of the World Wide Web or whatever the fuck they
They
call
don't
it?
have a
Great
hive
Link.
mind.
Well,
They're not
yeah,
the
the Great
Borg.
Link, that's
Yeah,
it.
you-
Well,
I
no,
think
I
it's-
know, but I just mean like because like Odo so has notes on everybody. And
It's
if that was
very.
something.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, it's very safe to assume that at this point the changelings have access to everything.
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe they have access to his phone.
I mean, they could very
Right.
well be on Deep Space
Ambassador
Nine
Krajewski.
and have,
No, like I said, it's Morn. Morn's been a shapeshifter the whole time.
Everybody tells their secrets to Morn.
He's
actually
everyone's
true.
best friend.
Mm.
So speaking of Odo, since I brought Odo up, can I harken back to a moment at the like congratulations captain party?
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys notice they sing for "He's a Jolly Good Fellow"
Mm-hmm.
to Cisco?
Okay.
And when they first start, Odo's like in the back. And he's looking at them like, "How the fuck do you all know the words to this song?" And at some point, he catches on and is like, "He's a jolly good fellow."
I did not notice that.
It was beautiful. It was
I
like
gotta
the
go
most-
rewatch that.
I'm not usually someone who notices anything. But it was really this just fucking great moment of him being like, "Ugh, fucking solids, what's wrong with you?" And then, like, he kind of gets into it. Like, by the third, "He's a jolly good fellow," he was like, "Oh yes, I know the words. He's a jolly good fellow."
It's like that Rocco where they'd all been rehearsing without him.
Or like in Enchanted when McDreamy is like, "How do you all know the words to this song?"
Oh yeah, I forgot about that movie.
I think everyone has.
I'd never even heard of it to start
It
with.
was a Disney movie, I think, where like an animated princess goes out into the real
Live action
3D
world.
human action
Hmm.
world, yeah. And
Yeah,
she
it's
falls
sort
in
of a
love with Patrick
self-parody.
Dempsey.
Last
it's-
Action Hero.
It's a
That's
good
the
one.
one.
It's a good movie, honestly. Anyway, that's all. Odo was doing a cute Odo thing.
I missed that. I'll have to look out for that.
So yeah, as you mentioned, Odo does the dirty. He
Oh yeah, that's what
he's the first changeling to harm another.
Being fair, it seemed like that other changeling was trying to harm him first. So
He actually did start harming him first.
like
Oh,
Odo
yeah.
seemed to be in pain.
And it was
Yeah.
funny because at the beginning we have this like foreshadow thing where Odo's like, "Oh, I don't want to be the first," or whatever. Jake, do that in
Yeah.
a better Odo impression, would you?
All right, hang on.
Nailed it. That's
That's it right
exactly
there.
what it was like.
Beautiful.
But
So
yeah, no,
beautiful.
I would call that self-defense because it looked like the other changeling was fucking him up.
The other
Yeah, it
changeling was
was-
trying to force him to connect.
Yeah, it was the great link, but it was a
kind of
bad
fucking,
link.
That's rapey.
Yeah, there's like
It
a
was,
rapey.
it really
There's a
was.
consent problem
thing
there. I
going
don't
on
like
there.
that at all.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like I'm starting to think that when they say that no changeling has harmed another, they might have a very specific
Definition
meaning
of-
behind that.
I mean, here's the thing. The only people we've ever heard say that are the changelings. Kind of like how the only people we've ever heard say Vulcans don't lie are Vulcans. So...
But they don't lie, so...
Yeah.
The hips don't lie.
James, are you a Vulcan? God damn it.
They don't lie.
Yeah, I liked Odo's response when Eddington was being super racist at him, being like, "So, you're a changeling? What would you be hiding as right now?" And Odo's like, "I don't know. I'm not this changeling. I'm an individual. We're not all the same. What the fuck is wrong
I'd be
with
hiding
you?"
as your mom, but she'd be too fat to fit in this Jeffries tube.
Jesus!
Oh, no.
That would be a very 90s joke.
So in character with Odo. For
Yeah, I
sure.
was gonna
That
say
would be that would be
I can
an
shrink
Odo
down
was
to a rat, but I can't stretch out to be your mom.
Oh god,
I don't have enough goo to be your mom.
if Deep Space Nine was an MTV series.
Hosted by Wilmer Valderrama.
Hey!
No,
nice.
he was a fucking fetus at that point.
If I was this changeling, I'd just be inside your mom. Ayo. I don't know, that also feels like, I don't know. Listen, just delete it. I can't handle it.
Aw.
It was funnier in my head.
Timestamp 45 minutes, delete. Thank you.
Thank
Wow.
Yeah.
you. 50 minutes, 30 seconds, actually.
Oh, well, we started at different times.
Clearly.
Anyways, but that is a good reminder that we've talked about this episode for a long time, and we still got some other stuff to get to. So I don't know if we want to wrap this one up and move on to our
Been a long
wrap up.
road.
Let me see. Did I have anything else that's interesting or fun? The original working title was Flashpoint, but then I guess they held a contest for for people to enter in what they thought the title should be. I'm not sure how that worked, but that's what I read, and apparently
So
the
what was
Adversary was the winner.
They first released it, and it was like, episode 23, untitled. What the fuck?
No, I don't know how it worked. I just read that one sentence, and I didn't look further into it because I was like, "That's funny."
Yeah, I saw that. I wanted that too. It's like, did they just tell you what the episode was?
Yeah, like how do you
So like a
name it
bunch of
otherwise?
people.
Maybe they focus grouped it.
Spoilers,
Maybe.
but... Yeah, that could be it.
That was
They said-
good, but it seemed like the thing that I just saw. The thing's real
Aw,
good, and then
no.
they just kill that
Could
person.
you call it The Thing?
Yeah.
We've never even seen The Thing!
Let's call it the thung.
The
past-
Thang.
The past tense of
Ooh,
thing is
Thang
thung.
feels very
Thang's
late 90s,
good.
early 2000s.
Yeah. Yeah, and also in this episode, this is the most morphing we have seen yet.
That's true.
I think it's even more morphing than we've seen for the rest of the third season combined.
Mm,
And it was a lot of work.
I
bet.
don't doubt it.
Yeah, no, it was so worth it too.
Is that sarcasm, James?
It looked bad.
Yeah, it did.
It
It
looked
looked like
bad?
total shit.
It looked bad.
Oh, come on, it blew our minds in 1995.
Oh yeah,
Not
for,
me,
for
I didn't
90s
see it.
though.
So which crew member do you think took a little bit of that crumbled shapeshifter and smoked it to see what would it be like?
Eddington.
Julian.
Yeah. Together. They
Yay.
popped it in a bong and hung out
O'Brien
and-
stopped by and was like, "What are you guys doing?" And they were like, nothing. Go away, O'Brien."
Got a
He was
harsh
like, "All right."
No one
Armello.
wants you here, O'Brien.
You're
All
fun
right.
for
Go
drink.
away.
All right, fellas, I'll go. I know when I'm
You're-
not welcome.
You're fun for drinking and darts, but not this shit.
You can't handle the truth.
Morn's there though.
Fuck yeah. He's the one that rolled the blunt.
I do like how the shapeshifter was very courteous not to actually kill anybody on the ship. Like,
Well, we don't know what happened to Krajewski.
fuck that guy.
No, it clearly snapped the neck of the guy that was with
That's true.
Cisco.
Yeah.
That guy was dead. He had eyes open dead.
Oh, that's true. That
Oh,
is the universal symbol in TV. Eyes open, dead. Eyes
Yeah, I
closed,
read-
knocked out.
I read who that guy was too, and that guy was a stunts person who was also in the two Mirror episodes,
Oh.
or the two Mirror Universe episodes. He was the eye patch guy, the one-eyed guy.
Huh.
And I guess he addressed the folks casting the show, being like, I'd probably have a counterpart in this universe. And they're like, fine, go ahead. You can do whatever you want, whatever.
Nice.
So in his own headcanon, he is the same character.
You know
just
what? I'm down. That works.
Yeah.
I like that.
Pity he's dead now.
Yes.
But eye patch guy, he's probably still around.
As I say,
Hopefully.
the in this universe, we set our phasers low so we don't actually hurt the Changeling. It just, destabilizes him a little bit. Mirror Universe, they know how to deal with the Changeling. You explode those motherfuckers.
Yep.
You
Actually,
said
that
they know
was
how to deal
Julian.
with
Wasn't that Julian that
It was.
kerploded
Yeah.
Mirror Odo?
Yeah, no, Julian
Julian knows
murdered
how to
Odo.
deal with it.
For some
Yeah.
reason, when you mentioned they know how to deal with changelings, I just pictured like Judge Doom or whatever in fucking Roger Rabbit, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's Doom!" Except the dip kind of looks like it's. Oh god, that fucking movie gave me nightmares. He's so creepy at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good movie, though.
Such a
No, it's
remember
the
me, Odie?
Fucking
And I talked just
like this.
No, that's Renee Auberjonois' actual voice.
Oh.
It's a callback, and it's a great one.
All right, let's now that we're just talking about the mirror universe and all this other bullshit, let's talk about the season as a whole. Weaker than last season.
It was a season.
Yeah, looking at the list, at the whole list of episodes, I'm like, there are more bad episodes than last season and fewer good episodes than last season.
But I think there were some very strong episodes.
There were.
This season.
Yeah,
not
that's so
as
true.
strong as season 2 though. I thought season 2 was better.
Mm.
Season 2 had The Wire.
I like that we're slowly getting more of the Dominion arc revealed to us, but it is very slow. For
they're
some reason,
letting it
I had thought that like
simmer.
season 3 really kind of kicked it into gear with the
Well, it
Dominion
looks
stuff.
like that's going to be next season.
Yeah.
because with this cliffhanger we just got.
Yeah, I feel like this whole season, because if you remember, the last season ended with the Jem'Hadar, which was really the introduction of the Dominion.
Yeah.
And then,
Thank you for clearing what you meant by intro. I was lost.
oh yeah, well, I don't like to speak in abbreviation because I know some of our listeners. Anyway,
Jake knows some of our listeners.
I know a
Jake,
couple
you
of
probably
them.
know all of our listeners.
Oh, that's really sad.
They're all right here right now. It's awesome.
Hey, Rossi.
Aw.
He's
I
here.
listen every week.
Aw, thanks, Rossi.
Yay.
Anyway,
Yeah, I know when we get into season 4, they were originally planning to do their original plan for this episode, which would have been the Changelings on Earth big cliffhanger 2-parter kind of a thing. But then, and this is going to surprise everyone, they learned that they were going to get a new cast member in season 4, so they changed their plan. But we're going to talk about that next week.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You're right. I was a little disappointed in this season. It was a little underwhelming overall, but I still think
Yeah,
there were some
more
strong
crap.
episodes.
I think they were, like, settling into the serialization a bit more.
Hmm.
And I think that's what, because there's a lot of stuff scattered throughout it that's important and interesting and stuff like that, but it's definitely a weird mix of episodic and serialized. I don't think they were quite comfortable with that yet.
Mm.
And that might be part of the problem.
Yeah, because I feel like most of the episodes that I consider the baddies of this season were more the episodic ones, which is interesting.
See, because for me, I went into this with only 4, oh god, fuck these to death episodes. So I only had to nix 1.
Well, let's find out what they were.
Whereas I think I had, like, a harder time narrowing down favorites.
Really, I had very
you tried
few
to
favorites.
give him a great segue.
Nope, he walked right over it.
Sorry.
I
He
just
shit
wanted,
on your
I mean,
segue.
in his
Sorry.
defense, he was trying to make a point, but I just wanted you to know that I saw your segue and I loved it.
All right, well let's reverse back into that segue.
Beep.
Do segues go in reverse? They probably do.
Beep.
So, Chris, what are those bad ones that you didn't like so much?
I guess we're starting with me, all right.
Yeah, we are, because you started it.
You've
You're
been
the
volunteered
boss.
by Ames, and you
Bottom
ignored her
3.
her segue, so you deserve to go first.
In order,
Yarp.
from fucking bad to fucking abysmal.
Too fuckest bad.
Meridian, because I in no way believed that Dax and that guy were in love.
Or that they were
And-
actually professional actors.
Oh.
And the whole subplot with Kira was just gross.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that subplot?
That's the one where Jeffrey
Oh,
Combs
that
wanted
one.
Hollow
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kira.
Quark's trying to trick her into the hollow.
So that
suite.
was just really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Second worst, Fascination.
real bad.
So bad.
Really
Real
bad.
And not just worst of the season, but probably one of the worst Star Trek episodes I've seen so far, and I've seen TAS, Distant Voices.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Such
bad.
trash. Such a fucking
unmitigated dumpster fire.
Like I said, that was like that was season 1 TNG bad.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Oh god, yeah, that creepy ass bullshit. I mean, the makeup was better than expected, and that's the only nice thing I can say about it. Absolute fucking
the age
garbage.
makeup was good. I will give it that too.
Oh, anyway, yeah, no, just
Some of the lighting they did was good. The lighting in Quark's bar when it was under attack was good.
yeah, I'll give you that. But everything else was just
like why? Like stupid and why?
so bad. Like, if this doesn't make my bottom 5 of DS9 overall, I'll be shocked.
Me too.
Next.
Who wants to go next?
I will.
Rossi.
Hi.
Rossi made a list?
Of course I
told
did.
him to make a
Did you
list.
check it
Yeah.
twice?
So I was only able to watch the back half of the season. I am refreshed on the first half, but that kind of tempered some of my choices, I think. Distant Voices, definitely on there. Bashir Nakoma was absolutely terrible.
Yep.
The acting didn't work. The script really didn't work. The one thing I will say that was kind of cool in that was they did have that one scene which was done all in one take.
That's true.
Which
They
I
did
thought was kind of
intersplice
cool.
it. They did
Right.
intersplice
I don't
the scene.
like if you're gonna intersplice with close-up shots. Like, there's no reason to do the scene in one take if you're not gonna take advantage of that. So even that's kind of wasted. And the acting feels a little off too. I think because it was one like 6 or 7 minute scene that they were doing all in one take.
Well,
Which
and all the
scene was
actors
that?
the scene where Julian meets up with the other members of the crew when they're having a fight.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're all acting weird.
Well,
yeah,
also that
And they're all
scene
acting like
sucked.
facets of his personality, and it's dumb.
yeah,
God,
and
it's
it's
so
easy to
stupid.
not realize that it's a single take because they interspersed cutaways and close-ups.
I wouldn't have known
Yeah,
if
it
I
was
hadn't
dumb.
read about it in a book.
When I was watching it, there was something about it where I was kind of like, I think this was done in one take, which confused me because of the inserts.
What else didn't you like?
Also, didn't like Ghost Planet with Meridian. That just it just felt very weak. I'd actually forgotten about the Kira subplot on that one, which is just really, really terrible. And I would actually go with Through the Looking Glass as
was
one
that
of my
again?
least liked
The Mirror
ones.
Universe one.
That's the
Mirror Universe, where Benjamin Sisko has sex with 2 people who
Three.
he
At
works
least.
with.
Only 2?
At least.
He
Probably only
definitely
2. I
fucked
don't.
Smiley.
So 3
yeah.
then.
Yeah. But yeah, like, he had sex with Jadzia and Kira, and that's messed up.
Here's the thing. In some ways, it's perfect because, now he doesn't have to be a sex pest to his crew.
I guess.
But it was not the same Jadzia and Kira.
No, but it's still the same.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, but
now
everybody
he's
wants to
seen
fuck
it all
Kira.
at this point.
Don't worry, Jake. I'm not having sex with you. I'm having sex with someone who looks exactly like
That
you.
is,
That's just
and
nice.
I'm actually
Basically.
okay with
and
that.
I'm really into it.
I am
You have good
100% okay
taste.
as long as the
I probably
alternate
should have
me.
picked a different person.
As long as the alternate me is into it, that's the thing, right? So
You
alternate
think
Jadzia and alternate Kira were both into it. So
Well, and they were the ones who, suggested it, in my opinion. So I think they are into it. I think if we should be upset for anybody, it's for Cisco.
yeah, he
Maybe
should
he
have gone.
didn't want to fuck his crew.
I
but he
still
had to.
think it's extremely questionable.
I mean, I don't-
Is my main feeling on it.
Yeah, I consider anything in the Mirror Universe is just fanfic.
Yeah, it really
you think Ben got back to the Prime universe and kept suggesting to Dax she should cut her hair?
Ah.
No, see, that would be creepy. That would be the
Yeah.
problem right there.
No,
If
I know.
that's what
that,
happened.
That
it'd
was
be really
that
bad.
was the joke.
Oh, good one. Sorry.
They can't all be.
She
Jones.
did have dope hair though.
Yeah, her
Yeah,
hair
no,
looked
that hair really
fabulous.
suits
Oh, yeah.
her.
All right, did
No,
we
they
get 3
should've-
from you,
The
Rossi?
wife
Or?
beater look was good too.
Distant Voices, Meridian, and Through the Looking Glass.
Yep. Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Ames, you go.
Ames will go. I have 4, 2 of which I know are fucking shit, and the other 2 I'm going to pick one at random right now.
Woo!
It's going to be Profit Motive. What am I fucking thinking? Why am I even Meridian? Bad, stupid. Profit Motive though, I just fucking can't stand it. It's just nothing but jokes after
Too
jokes
much
after
wacky
jokes.
fun for Ames.
Yeah, and I don't do wacky fun, and I got infuriated with Profit Motive because it's fucking bullshit. So that one's on my bad list.
not a
And then the
surprise.
other two baddies shouldn't surprise literally anyone because they're Fascination and Distant Voices.
Nice.
Nice.
Because everyone knows they're fucking garbage.
No, they're terrible. I will say it did not make my top list, but I do enjoy Profit Motive as an episode.
I know you do, because you're you.
I thought it was all right. I would never make it a favorite, but I definitely...
Yeah, no, it's not a
definitely
top.
not the worst either.
It's definitely in the bottom 26.
Agreed.
I think it's in the top 26.
What?
Right. Caitlin, tell us some stuff.
All right. Least awful to most awful. Meridian.
Mm-hmm.
Fascination. Distant Voices.
Wow.
Wild.
Exactly the same as mine.
Yep.
And then my list, I think, might be a little surprising.
Are they the same ones?
It's Distant Voices,
Yeah.
Fascination, and Meridian.
See, now I'm glad I put in Profit Motive,
Yeah,
so we're not all
you
the
added
same.
some variety. You and Rossi
Yeah.
Yeah, and this
had
is
a,
gonna
had a
be
wild card
Yeah.
choice.
It's gonna be a really easy recap post to put together, though, Ames.
Yeah, you
That's true.
only have to find 5
Well, we'll see what
screenshots.
happens with the tops.
Well, but even so, I don't think we've ever
True.
had this much overlap.
Yeah.
That was a lot. So my top is just Through the Looking Glass 3 times.
Gross.
No, I'm kidding. It is, again, while I enjoy it, it is not a top like Profit Motive. The hard part is the order with these ones.
You don't have to tell us in any particular order,
No,
Chris.
we don't order it. You just say the words.
Okie dokie. Civil Defense.
Really?
That's Attention Bajoran Workers, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm
It's a
sorry,
great
we're on
episode.
tops. I always forget when we move to tops.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, it's a great
Glad you did.
episode. What the hell is
Yes, okay.
no.
I'm like,
Fucking
we're here some more
Ducats.
bad ones.
See, that's funny. I'm surprised that you're surprised, Ames, because I thought that you sort of saw a lot of the negatives in civil defense.
I did, which is why but I know Chris loves that kind of shit.
Fair
so.
enough. Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah,
Nice.
no, yep, we're on our tops, and I forgot already.
So, yeah, Attention Bajoran Workers and fucking the little replicator turret and
Oh, yeah, that turret was
fucking
brilliant.
Ducat and Garrick sniping at each other. It's just too fun. It's too fun. There's
O'Brien
actually
crawling around.
I'm not gonna lie, there's a very strong theme with my tops this time. Because
Cardassians?
yeah. My
Ah.
other one is are we allowed to make a 2-parter or just a single episode? We
Yeah,
aren't?
you
If
have
it's
to pick one.
if it's the Dias
Yeah,
if it's the
because-
Dias cast and the other one, then I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, because those are really 2 different episodes
Yeah.
that just happen to be tied together.
Oh boo. Then
Pick
I'll
one.
pick
It's the Dias cast. That's the better.
It's
of
the
two.
Dias cast.
yeah, Dias cast, because all kinds of Cardassian weirdness. And Second Skin.
Word.
More needlessly elaborate Cardassian plotting. So yeah, it's all Cardies all the time for me this time.
I don't blame you.
Nice.
I love them Cardis.
Mm.
You play the cards as they're dealt.
Did you want to jump in here, Rossi? Go in the same
Yeah.
order? Or do you
Yeah,
care?
same order.
So I also have Civil Defense. That's definitely my kind of episode. People like kind of bottle episode where you're dealing with a crisis. I really like
Yep.
those. I also did the Dias cast, despite a lot of the weaknesses around that particular episode with some of like, why are the Romulans and Cardassians doing these things in this way? They're supposed to be smarter than that. The Odo and Garrick stuff was just really, really, really good. And that's why I think I'm putting it as high on my list. And actually Visionary, which is the
Oh.
O'Brien time travel episode.
That is a fun episode.
Again, despite some of the weirdness behind it, I love that from that episode forward, it's a different O'Brien than the one we've been watching the entire show before that. And
Not that we would notice.
right. Well, it's only a couple hours.
He did
but
have that really good dart streak.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I'm a huge fan of O'Brien. I really like the O'Brien centric episodes, and
Yeah.
I enjoy time travel episodes. So it was a good combination for me personally.
It was definitely under consideration for me.
Yeah.
So
And those are my 3.
Cool. I'm going to give you my 3. Oh, right. This is one where I have a couple that are close. So the 2 that are at the top, I know which ones those are. Second Skin is fucking great. Nana Visitor rocks it as a Cardassian.
Hell yeah.
yep.
The Dias cast, I'm gonna pop up there because Odo and Garrick are great. The rest of the episode, meh, but the Odo Garrick stuff really brings it to a head. And I'm gonna have to pick the next one. Is it gonna be Visionary or the House of Quark?
House of Quark was also on my consideration
Yeah.
list.
Yeah, that
Which
was
one
I
is
was
it?
having a hard time with that as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Visionary too. Because even though the science, well, you can't think about the science and have it make
No.
any sense, but the story is interesting and O'Brien does a great job being fucking destroyed constantly.
Over and over again.
So that's my list. Sorry, House of Quark.
Almost made 2 different lists.
I guess it's me, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
let's go, Caitlin.
So, least favorite to most favorite. Family Business. I just
Mhm.
loved Family Business.
That was a good episode.
Yeah.
Moogie! And I love Moogie, and I loved seeing, like, the family dynamic, Quark being a little bitch. I liked seeing Quark have to realize that his mom was, like, a fucking better Ferengi than he was. Like, that was great. He's a bitch. I also chose Die is Cast, because Odo and Garrick. And my top was Second Skin, because that episode was great. It wasn't just, like... Because Nana Visitor is incredible, and like watching this character have to like come to grips with possibly being what she hates most in her life, but being able to like overcome that a little and have a good relationship with the guy who thinks he might be her father.
Yeah, I
like
loved
I
him a
thought that
lot,
was
too.
really nice.
Yeah.
Like I just thought it was great. So there you go.
Rock. Mr. Jake,
Nice.
give us some news.
In no particular order, I have The Die is Cast, Second Skin, and even if you won't do it, I gotta give some love to my girl Grilka, The House of Quark.
Oh, good. I'm glad House of Quark is on the list.
Yay, so am I.
I really want to just go find a good screenshot of Grilka, though. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
She's great.
No, she is. Wow, a lot of consistency there.
Yeah, I mean,
Cast?
did
Yeah,
we
well,
all
as I
have
said-
Die is Cast?
We did. Well, as I said, like, looking at this season, I felt like there weren't a ton of good, and I feel like there were more bad than usual, but we knew which ones were the bad ones.
And I didn't wild card anyone.
That's, well... Simple Defense
Chris
is
is
a
like,
little more wild cardy.
And my third favorite, Times Arrow.
No, I think
Fuck it.
Civil Defense is objectively good. I don't think that's wild card. I think that's a good.
Yeah,
episode.
no, it's like I didn't profit motive or mirror universe
like
anybody.
that. Well,
Yeah.
no, I was.
Like
I
I'm
was
sure there part of you
expecting-
was afraid of that was gonna happen.
Yeah, I didn't think you thought Civil Defense was top 3 worthy. I thought you would have gone something like House of Quark.
It was very strongly in consideration. But at the end of the day, just the Ducat swagger. I think I might have said it in the episode. Now I understand why people want to fuck him.
Oh, yeah.
Like before that episode, I was like, I don't get. Oh, okay.
Yeah, when he's got a laser turret going off behind him and he doesn't fucking flinch.
Yeah, that is a fuckable lizard.
Oh my.
That's what I said about Gareth in Mass Effect. Whatever the fuck his name is.
Mm.
So now I'm thinking, because we're going to move on to do a thing really quick, and I think now maybe we should have added Ducat to our list.
Oh.
It's never too late.
I mean, you can still put him in your story.
That's
So
true.
folks will remember, we like doing fanfics every so often, and we realized, we should give ourselves some time to write so that we can get another one out in a couple of months.
So that Caitlin can wait till the day before anyway.
As usual.
Yeah.
And it won't be the same as what we usually do at the end of a series where we do a full series fanfic. But we're just going to do a couple quick teleplay style stories, and we're each going to pick a main character to be the center, the focal point of our stories.
Well, we're not picking. We're going to randomly have picked. for
Rossi's
us.
going to
I am in
randomly
control.
pick.
He is the ghost in the machine.
I
But
am
then-
the dice master.
But then tell him the really fun part.
Yes, when we
You do
read
that.
them,
I don't think it'll be really fun.
it's going to be really
so you
fun.
do that.
So normally we just read our own stories. This time we are going to play the cast in our teleplays.
Yes, and then I'm going to regret it because I'm in a room with 3 actors and me.
You've acted
So-
before.
You can just play Keiko in all of them. You'll be our,
I can't
You'll
be
be our
a rancid
designated
bitch. That's
Keiko.
true.
Every story must prominently include Keiko.
yeah.
Here's the thing. Every story must write Keiko well for a fucking change.
Yeah, if,
Yeah.
yeah, there should be.
I would love
some
You'll
good
get
Keiko.
top prize in this thing that is not at all a competition, but you will still get top prize if you happen to make a good story for Keiko.
So a love story between Keiko and Ducat.
I actually
Okay.
love that
Where
idea.
it turns out O'Brien just wants to be cuckolded.
I could
That's
buy
in
that.
his
I could
character.
buy that about O'Brien. He could
What
totally
would a
be
lizard
a cuck.
version of cuckold be?
What do you mean? Like as opposed
I
to
don't
a
know. I
bull?
feel like cuckold is more like, it's more like a chicken term.
Well, I actually
So
think
what would
it
a
has
lizard?
something-
Does it actually
it
come
has
from
something to do
chickens?
with. No, it has something to do with bulls of all things.
Yeah,
What?
you have horns. It's when it's like if
Yeah.
your partner has horns. They've cuckolded.
I had no idea it was a term from the animal kingdom. That makes it even more
It
disgusting.
comes from ancient Greek or something. I think
It is such an old word that there's literally a flag from England in like the 1400s where a group of people was storming a castle and one of the invading group's flag basically said, "Come out, you cuckold."
Nice.
And I'm not kidding.
Are you sure that just wasn't like a photo at a Trump rally or something?
No, this is a real thing.
Oh, no, I lied. Wearing the horns as a term does have something to do with the ancient Greeks, but the actual word cuckold, according to Google, is from the Old French cuckoade. From cuckoo, comes from the habit of the cuckoo laying its eggs in another
someone
bird's
else's
nest.
nests. Oh,
so
shit.
it is a
so it is a
bird
bird.
term.
Yay!
All right, let's get
It
off of
is.
birds and let's do some name drawing.
Yeah.
Who wants to draw the first name?
Me.
Caitlin. All right, Rossi is going to use a random number generator to pick one of the 7, and we're going to consider the 7 main characters that you probably
And those
would expect
characters
to
are
be.
Cisco, Kira, Julian, Odo, Quark, O'Brien, and Dax.
Yeah, and we're no Worf yet because we haven't found him yet. So Rossi,
All right.
roll a die for Caitlin.
Okay. Caitlin, you have Odo.
Oh, you
win!
won! You totally won!
Nice.
I win the whole game.
Nice.
Thank you, Odo.
Man,
Who's
Yeah,
up
but the
next?
problem is, it's honestly, this was like a real Harry Potter moment, where I was like, please give me Odo. And really, Odo, are you sure? Because you're going to fuck it up. No, I definitely want Odo. Okay, but you're going to blow it.
We should probably go in a consistent order so that we don't fuck with randomness.
what?
No, fuck you. I
it
picked
doesn't.
next. Ames is next.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Ames, you've
Hey.
got Quark.
Oh, you
All right,
you
I'll
won
take
second
Quark.
prize!
I think that's great. Honestly, Quark's fun as fuck.
I don't know. I have to make sure it's not fun. That's the trick.
That's true. Fuck, what a waste. No. All right, I'm still pretending to be in charge. Let Chris go next.
I really
All
hope
right.
Zek is in your story.
Nope. Zek, I would kill Zek.
Oh my
off
god,
if
I was
were
gonna
my
say it could be
story.
Zek's funeral.
Hey.
That would
Ooh.
not be funny, right? I mean, it would be not funny.
No, it would be
Well,
hysterical.
the reading
be
of
funny
his,
'cause
the
they'd be
playing
selling
of his
pieces of him.
will, his
No.
video will would be interesting.
Fuck. Now I wish I got Quark. See, this is what happens.
Nope. You don't regret having Odo. Come on.
No, I would never
Chris.
regret having Odo.
Yo.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, Jadzia.
You have Julian.
Oh
okay.
no, that's even worse.
I wanted O'Brien, but I'll take Julian.
And you can't use any of the cool later season Julian stuff.
Yeah, it has to be all loser early season Julian.
That's true. Because
Sorry.
we're
Julian.
It's just
only in
it's
season
just a
3.
teleplay where he just keeps jizzing in his pants. Like that's the whole show.
Oh
Just-
no.
It's just gonna be 10 minutes of him and the chief playing darts.
Darts.
You mean like that episode the other day? What was that?
Yeah.
In Shakar, the second half of Shakar?
Yeah,
God,
where his
what a-
shoulder
Yes,
exploded.
the whole
Stupid,
B plot of that
stupid
episode was just O'Brien good at a thing.
Yep.
It was
That was
ridiculous.
it. There wasn't
Briefly.
anything weird.
Oh, no,
It's
he
better-
broke his arm for no reason.
It's better than the magic luck episode. Oh, that
Oh,
episode
God,
was
That
trash.
basically
one
was
rivals.
magic luck. The second note I wrote
the
after
zone.
darts was luck of the Irish.
Aw.
What's Jake got?
Jake! I swear I didn't do this on purpose. You've got Jadzia.
Yay!
So lucky.
All right, Jake, you are tasked with writing a
Everyone's
good
favorite
Jadzia.
character.
She's
I don't know. You
Jadzia.
could just write
So
like a really
many
horrible
boys.
play where she's just obsessed with boys all the fucking time.
Boys!
Like Rossi, if you've been following along, are we wrong that they've been doing a shit job with Jadzia?
No, it's
Because I know people love her, and it's like I haven't found anything to love in her yet.
So the weird thing is like I remember like liking Jadzia as a character for some reason,
It's because you
But
saw her in past tense with them titties.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, yeah, she's like, attractive, but like, when I rewatched, Deep Space Nine less than like 10 years ago, it was probably like 8 to 6 years ago. Like, I would have been, being like, oh, character stuff. Like, that's important to me now. I'm no longer a teenage boy. And she's been handled horribly, almost without fail, every single time she's had an episode. And they give her 2 to 3 episodes a year.
Mm-hmm.
And they still manage to like screw it up. So I don't know.
Sounds like you don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe Jake will fix that for us.
Nope.
Maybe.
It's all boys all the time.
Also, he's decided he's gonna play her.
Yep, I'm playing Jadzia, and I'm boy crazy. You should see
Boy
the new
crazy
boy that showed
Jadzia.
up on the station. Boys.
Also, I'd like to apologize. I assume at least some of the neighbors' noisy ass, whatever that is, has made it through to the
No,
recording.
not your neighbor's noisy
It
ass.
hasn't been bad.
No.
I can't hear it, but
Oh, it's definitely showing up on my waveform.
Oh,
Well,
bummer.
let's wrap
My-
this thing up
Yeah.
then.
My windows are closed, but whatever they're doing is exceptionally loud. I
Oh,
apologize.
God,
Tap that ass.
Is she singing again?
No, it's someone across the street using a power tool.
That neighbor.
Yeah.
Having trouble getting your motorboat going, eh?
Yeah, Chris, could you like not
That wasn't
let all that noise come through?
Oh, so that was Jake.
I know. That was
My windows
I get you
are
now.
old.
Well, speaking of noisy neighbors, next week...
Well,
Go
actually,
on.
Stop! Next week, we're going to talk about 2 more episodes of Deep Space Nine, and we kick off Season 4 with episodes... Oh, The Way of the Warrior, Parts 1 and 2.
Klingons are noisy neighbors, basically.
It's true.
I don't
Setting off
buy it.
illegal fireworks.
That is the
Success.
season 3 premiere.
4.
4
Four.
premiere, sorry.
Is this the sneeze of a Klingon? Well, if you like what you heard and you want to hear more, you can find A Star to Steer Her By where all fine podcasts are sold. You can find us on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, Apple Podcasts. You can also check us out online if you follow us on Facebook at A Star to Steer Her By. Oh, .com I almost said. Wow, I just took a total a U-turn into Jaketown. What I meant was you can search A Star to Steer Her By on Facebook.com. You can also find us on Twitter and Tumblr as SSHB Podcast, or you can check out our home on the web at sshbpodcast.com.
.com.
Thank you for joining us for episode 180. As always, I have been Caitlin.
I have been Jake.
This has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
I'm James.
Yay!
I'm here.
Yay.
You were
I'm
here. Good
When are we
work.
starting?
Jake.
God damn it, Chris. Chris is gonna cut that.
Probably.
I doubt it.
It was funnier in
Future
my
Chris,
head.
feel shamed
you
at
used it
past Chris.
before.
I always do that.